Okay. A question about discrimination.
Shanti, when people talk about discrimination, we can think of it in different ways. Sometimes there's a negative connotation, and sometimes, of course, in terms of spirituality, we
Yes.
also want to cultivate discrimination between
Yes.
real and unreal. Would you talk about those?
Yes. Discrimination is inevitable in practical life. For example, you are hiring someone. You need somebody with college degree, and somebody comes with high school degree. You don't give the job. That's practical discrimination. Okay. I was renting the rooms or apartments, and I check out their status, they have job or not, their history. That is discrimination. But this is normal discrimination. The problem of discrimination is somebody who deserves something, and because of color, skin, nationality, belief system, religion, or whatever status, they are not given the opportunity. So this is authentic discrimination that should be avoided. But discrimination is necessary for survival. So there is nothing wrong with discrimination. But spiritually speaking, spiritual discrimination is different ball game. All the external discrimination are nothing compared to spiritual discrimination, because spiritual discrimination is real to unreal, permanent to impermanent. So spiritual discrimination sees Atman or self as permanent and body is impermanent. Spiritual discrimination doesn't distinguish male or female, rich or poor, young or old, even doesn't discriminate human being, animal or insect, because everyone is nothing but spark of God, and that is permanent thing. So one looks at everyone as spark of God rather than shell within which they are expressed. This is spiritual discrimination. So spiritual discrimination is the highest kind of discrimination because it liberates you. Liberates you means you see what is permanent, what is impermanent. Why do people suffer? People suffer because they are hanging on to something is impermanent. Just anything. Anyone suffers. They are hanging on to the things. They are hanging on to their prestige. They are hanging on to their loved ones. They are hanging on to whatever they are hanging on. And they become slave to that. But those who have spiritual discrimination, they enjoy life. They experience everything as it is, and they are open. Like how do I apply? Just the simplest example. I come across all the kind of people. They come and then they're not practicing or they feel guilty or whatever. They don't come. Then again they come. Doesn't matter. I'm totally open and they know that they can come back. The reason they did not come was not me. I was always open. So this is spiritual discrimination, that I don't see them because they did not come, or they insulted me at certain time, or they honored me, but I treat them. Their external behavior is temporary, and I see the real spark within them, potential within them. I cannot do certain thing. I'm not attached to it. And if I can do something, I'm ready to do. They find excuse. I don't have money. I don't have time. Then I say, okay, come for free. But I don't want to take something for free. What do you say? That means somebody is not ready. How can you do anything? So this is spiritual discrimination. Accept everyone as they are instead of judging them. So just like spiritual discrimination frees you because you don't judge. You know, somebody treated you badly and you have that impression. You meet that person after 5 years. What would happen? You remember those memories. Can you give them a chance? Person can change in one day. We can change. So it's a spiritual discrimination. So how positive it is, you know. So I'm just comparing the spiritual discrimination actually goes in wrong way. Like a reverse discrimination is even worse, you know. And this is not happening in one country, but all over. Around, it is a human nature. If you look at other countries also, or even in this country, look, there is discrimination of rich people and poor people, blue collar workers and white collar workers. Doctors have their group they discriminate against. Things like that, just this open. These people are such losers. I know there are some meetings, they are all doctors, and they don't look at anyone, don't even talk to anyone. It's just like nobody exists because they are so much caught that we are doctors.
Stuck in a bubble, yeah.
I see insecurity in them. If anyone, I am this, I am that, I am rich, I am more powerful, insecurity.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody is evolved, has laughs at everyone, smiles at everyone, communicates everyone. But this is people build that barrier, and this discrimination is common, and that is what killing them. That kills the joy of living. Discrimination. Just imagine if you remove discrimination to any extent, even not on practical level, but just any extent in your mind. Just forgive everyone. Forgive criminals because they are lost, they're ignorant. Just in the mind, and you will make greater impact overall instead of hate against the hate. And it will never resolve. All the great masters taught in the past, experienced in the past, hate cannot be resolved by hate, only by love. Okay.
So, can you transition from there into the purified intellect? Because I think you're talking about a purified intellect.
Yes.
It's more. Does it connect with that?
Yes. Purified intellect, that means if your intellect is dull, you cannot see, you are not aware at all. If your intellect is rasic, that means it's egotistic, so it judges everything in a wrong direction and it looks for personal gain, like success and all this. But when intellect is purified, then it sees extension of my being everywhere. So that is connected that way.
It connects with discrimination. Huh?
Yes. So discrimination, again, there are levels. Like somebody who is totally retarded, or somebody is blind, cannot discriminate. Somebody is blind, cannot discriminate this is white, black, or yellow, or brown, they cannot discriminate, cannot see. Same way, people are at lower level, they don't have even awareness who I am and who others are. But when one evolves, then becomes one refined. And then one evolves more, then one becomes purer. And that is the gateway for spiritual search.
Yeah,